Two forces have been at war since the beginning of time: the child of day and the child of night, both loved and despised by the gods. Their fight started in the age of myth, and at one point it spilled over into the human world and never left. The ground shakes, hideous creatures crawl out of the worst places on Earth, and a bank in the middle of the city goes up in smoke. A clown in full costume stands on top of the wreckage, arms wide open, screaming about his highway to heaven show. The freak calls it horrifying and thrilling at the same time, and welcomes everyone to the show like this is a stage, and the city is his audience. Civilians scatter in every direction. A death ball tears through the street and the clown scores a direct hit. The tag on the broadcast reads, S-Class Villain. A hero in dark gear drops in from above. The guy lands right in front of the clown's crew. The hit connects clean, sends one of them flying. The clown barely flinches, tells the hero there will always be pests like him wherever he goes. One of the goons fires a pin shot straight at the hero. The blast rips through the ground, and the hero goes down hard. The clown's crew laughs it off. One asks if they should put a hole in the hero's skull, while another one already wants to rob the next bank. Chaos spreads across the block, buildings crumbling around them. An old woman on the sidewalk grabs the kids and tells them to go home. The bank behind her is nothing but smoke and rubble now. The clown's goons move fast through the wreckage. One of them picks through stolen goods and grins, calls it fine stuff. The big one announces he'll use the cash to fund kidnapping operations for the clown's personal playground. A school bus sits in the middle of the mess. One of the goons bangs on the door, yelling to open up. A kid inside asks why the bus doors won't move, and then the answer walks out. A woman tied up inside. A hostage. The goons drag her out, and a second captive catches their eye, the governor's wife and daughter. The crew figures both of them are worth a fortune. The woman begs them to let go of the child. One of them shoves her down and tells her to shut up. The little girl screams for her mother. The woman calls back to the girl, tells her to stay still, but the kid doesn't listen. A hand shoots out and grabs the goon's arm. The goon freezes. A figure in black yanks the goon off balance, slams him into the pavement. The goon screams to let go, but the rescuer already has the kid. The goon can't break free no matter how hard he pulls. The rescuer stands with the child safe behind him. In this world, people are born with special abilities. Those who awaken their powers and carry the night child's blood are called villains. The clown rounds up his crew, tells them to head back and throw a barbecue party. The goons cheer his name. A blur drops from the sky and slams right into the Aeos. Idyll of the celebration, the clown goes flying. There are those who fight back against the villains, another kind of superhuman. A figure in a dark coat walks out of the dust, backed by the people, carrying the authority of the law. The clown's jaw drops, asks who the hell that is. The newcomer grins and says he's here to take out the trash. People born with the day child's blood are called psykers. Our guy steps into full view, S-rank psyker, class striker, skill flame. He tells the clown it's been a whole year since they last met, and he's thrilled to see the freak again. The clown's crew panics. They can't figure out how he got there. Our hero grabs one of the goons by the collar. Fire erupts from his fist, and the goon drops. The clown asks if they should start playing around now that the distractions are gone. Bro tells them they can't even be recycled, and he won't leave a single one behind. Flames swallow both arms. Our MC swears he'll burn every last one of them to death. The news picks up the bank robbery the same day. Reporters stand in front of the wreckage while the broadcast loops the footage. A massive building towers over the city, the Psyker Guild emblem stamped right on the front. The Supreme Guild headquarters. Inside, the pink-haired director sits in her chair, sipping tea, S-rank mage, skill light. She asks our guy straight up if he's been meeting villains. Our hero sits across from her on the couch, jaw tight. The director tells him he shouldn't be going after villains alone. Bro crushes the teacup in his fist. The pieces scatter across the table. The director flips through documents on her tablet, says this could be the last bit of evidence they need. Our MC leans forward, tells her he'll take care of it himself. The director watches him leave, cup still in hand. Our hero walks down the hall alone, past other guild members. A woman in red walks the opposite direction without a word. Our guy's phone buzzes, a message from his best friend. He picks up. Our hero asks where the man is right now. The answer comes back, the island of Rhodes. Our hero nearly chokes, asks if that's in Greece. It is. Blue water stretches to the horizon, white sand, old stone buildings, the Mediterranean coast. Our MC meets up with his partner on the beach. Bro asks how long it's been. The partner says about 6 months. The partner shows him an RC separator he's been working on, a piece of tech that hums in his hands. Our guy spots the thing twitching and freaks out, asks if it's alive. The partner laughs, says it moves on its own sometimes. Our hero pokes it, and the partner slaps his hand away, tells him to stop touching everything. Our MC laughs it off, says he was just messing around, just a kid's prank. The two of them walk through a narrow street together, side by side, like old times. The partner says he always waits for our hero to visit. The partner takes him to a spot on a cliff overlooking the sea. The sun drops behind the water. A clock reads 7:30. Our hero waits alone in the dark. His partner should have been here by now. The phone rings with no answer. Footsteps drag across the gravel. Our MC turns around and sees his partner stumbling toward him. The older psyker collapses forward, blood soaking through his shirt. Our hero catches him, asks what happened. The partner says it's too late. He shouldn't have called. Our MC tells him to hold on, says the man can still be saved. The older psyker reaches into his coat and pulls out a necklace, shoves it into our hero's hands, tells him to take it. Our MC pushes back, says the necklace doesn't matter, the man's body is wrecked. The partner grabs his wrist, says the necklace is everything. The older psyker begs him to take it and run, says if our hero stays here, they'll both be dead. A voice cuts through the dark. Someone asks who's there. Our MC spins around. Two figures stand at the edge of the cliff. A blade swings through the air. It cuts across the space between them before our hero can react. Steel connects. Blood sprays across the rocks. Our MC screams his partner's name. The older psyker drops to the ground. Our hero stares down at the body, fists shaking. A second figure steps forward. Our MC snaps, tells them to stand right there. Fire erupts from his hands. He screams at them. The moon hangs over the ocean. All waves crash against the base of the cliff. A figure in a cape stands on the ledge above our hero, says the flames are still not enough. The cape warns our MC that they won't leave until both him and his partner are finished. Our hero fires back, swears he'll burn them to death. Flames pour from both arms. Our MC tells them to watch. The one in the cape speaks calmly, calls our hero foolish. A third figure steps out from behind the rocks, and the one-eyed man with blue hair, our MC, recognizes him. The one-eyed man steps forward, S rank. Our hero faces him and the ice mage behind him. 2 S ranks against 1. The one-eyed man says he reported to the underground director. Our MC calls it garbage, says every word is a lie. According to the report, our hero's partner murdered his own comrade. A witness confirmed it, evidence was filed. The investigation agency can't confirm anything yet, but the case is already open. Worse, our hero is also a suspect now. Communications are cut off, no way to reach the guild. The blue-haired psyker tells our MC he'll have to tell the truth eventually. Our hero laughs, a single dry laugh through his teeth. Bro says his partner spent 10 years as a psyker and never killed anyone. The man's whole career was clean. And these people are calling him a murderer. The one-eyed man gives his speech, says there are 2 kinds of people who lie. Our MC's eyes narrow. A final reminder follows, act like a psyker, reasonably, gently. Our MC's fire explodes from his body, tells the one-eyed man he's the one exception. Flames swallow the ground between them. Our hero closes the distance in a single step. The one-eyed man draws his blade. Sword spirit rips through the air, a wall of blue steel. The ice mage launches cold blasts from behind. Ice shards tear across the cliff. Our MC screams at them to fight. Fire and ice collide mid-air, blowing chunks of rock off the edge. A hit catches our hero in the side. He stumbles. The one-eyed man presses the attack. Our MC takes another clean hit. The sniper was hidden the whole time. The older psyker's revolver, they already took it from the body. Our hero pushes through the pain. One of them has to go down. Bro tells them to back off. Fire floods his palms. Hellfire erupts from our MC's entire body. The blast tears the cliff apart. The ice mage staggers. Our hero yells at them to remember his face. They'll meet again. A hand catches his ankle from behind. The one-eyed man yanks him off the edge. Our MC drops toward the water. The cliff shrinks above him. The ocean swallows him whole. Water rushes into his lungs, and the surface gets farther with every second. The last thought in his head, the necklace. He wanted to keep the necklace safe. Bubbles rise toward the surface. The body sinks deeper. Hours later, someone drags a kid's body onto the shore, says the boy isn't breathing. Another one checks and panics, asks if the kid is dead. One of them screams to run. They scatter from the beach. The body lies in the sand, soaking wet. A boy with gray hair and gold eyes gasps awake, a blue necklace glowing around his neck. The boy sits up on the rocks, asks where he is. The cliff behind him, the ocean below, the necklace cold against his chest. The voice coming out of his mouth is wrong. Too high, too young. He looks at his hands. They're tiny. A puddle on the rock shows a kid's face staring back. Our MC grabs his own head, tells himself this can't be real. The body is half his size and the reflection doesn't match a single thing he remembers. He tries to call it a dream, repeats it over and over. One hard pinch later, still real. Our hero curses and accepts it. This body belongs to a kid, and he's trapped inside it. Electricity rips through the boy's body, lightning cracks across his skin, and the pain drives him to his knees. Memories flood in, images and voices from a life he never lived pouring straight into his brain. Our MC grabs his skull, asks what these memories are and where they're coming from. A voice answers from the necklace, says he's finally awake, and uses the name our hero had in his old life. Our MC jumps, yells out, and asks who's there. A dark shape pops out of the chain, a floating eye made of shadow and blue flame. The spirit introduces itself, an ancient being bound to the necklace. Our hero points at the thing and demands answers. The spirit corrects him, says it's not a what, it's a who. The boy asks where the spirit came from, but the creature ignores the question, asks if our MC remembers it at all. School building, bright day, kids walking past. Our MC sits on a bench in a school uniform 2 sizes too big for his mental age. A classmate tells him he's been gone for 6 months and asks where he went. Bro stares at the kid like he's speaking another language, because mentally, he's a grown man trapped in a middle schooler's life. Our hero mutters under his breath, can't wrap his head around any of this. The memories of his death crash back in, the cliff, the fight, the fall into the ocean. He tells the spirit he died and came back, asks if that even makes sense. The spirit says the older psyker passed the necklace to this body to protect him. Our MC freezes. His partner gave up the necklace on purpose. Bro asks the spirit what it just said, stares at the chain hanging around his neck. The spirit explains the necklace carries the exterminator sword mark, an ancient weapon forged during the War of the Gods, older than recorded history. Our hero listens, jaw clenched, while the spirit talks about the sword's power and its origin. Our MC interrupts and tells the spirit not to lecture him. The boy walks through the school halls. A phone screen catches his eye. A news headline calls his partner a criminal. The article says the older psyker killed his fellow psyker in cold blood, labeled a murderer. Our hero reads every word, grip tightening on the phone. The report adds that they've been called helpless victims, but the real target is our MC. Bro slams the phone down, says these people are framing him. They killed his partner, they threw our hero off a cliff, and now they're rewriting the whole story. The rage boils over. Our MC says they're trying to bury the truth. The spirit tells him to calm down. Electricity tears through the boy's body again. Worse than the first time, the kid drops. Blue lightning covers every inch of him and he can barely breathe. The pain is ripping through whatever this new body is. The surge stops. Our MC lies on the concrete, panting, soaked in sweat. He staggers to his feet outside the school, asks what the hell just happened to him. A voice from behind, a guy in a purple shirt tells someone to stop whining, says he'll be there soon. Our hero runs, doesn't know why, just runs. The guy spots him, tells his friend to look at the kid running. Our MC turns the corner, still shaking from the electricity. His legs barely cooperate. 2 guys in school uniforms walk toward him, ask if he checked properly. One of them says, yeah. One of the bullies cracks his knuckles. The other one panics. They said the kid wasn't breathing earlier, said he was dead. The bigger one says he was sure the boy stopped breathing. The guy tells our hero to get lost. One of them mutters that the boy was sweating and shaking like crazy, figured the kid was done for, says the other one was talking garbage. The leader tells everyone to shut up, says the kid isn't dead, so it's over. The big one asks what they want to do about it. One of them grins. The answer is simple: find the boy again and beat him until he stops moving. Our MC screams at the spirit, demands to know why. Why the hell did his partner save him instead of keeping the necklace for himself? The spirit snaps and tells him to shut his mouth. Bro already knows the answer. The spirit lays it out. Even with his soul crammed into a kid's body, the partner still chose this for our hero. Our MC tells the spirit to stop making excuses for it. The spirit hesitates, but our hero cuts it off and says he's heard enough. Bro declares it out loud. He's a villain now. The spirit fires back, says the partner just wanted him to live, nothing else, and asks if our MC doesn't understand that. Despite knowing he was going to die, the older psyker never tried to save himself. Instead, he gave up his sole chance at life and passed the necklace to our MC. Our hero goes quiet. The spirit calls out to him, tells Bro he can't sit around forever, has to figure out what comes next. Our MC stands and says he'll do it. School grounds, bright day. A classmate walks up and asks if our MC is the kid who vanished 6 months ago. The boy says yes. The classmate stares at him like the kid crawled out of a coffin. And honestly, bro kind of did. The memories from this body hit again. The beatings, the bruises, faces he now recognizes. 3 guys round the corner and the purple-haired one laughs the second he spots our MC. The big one says he's glad the kid is alive and kicking. Across the school, a girl hurries past without looking back. Near the entrance, the red-haired senior stands with his phone out. The screen lights up with a name. The senior picks up. Someone asks if everything's all right. The caller sounds worried. A quick answer. He'll call back in a minute. The redhead pockets the phone and heads toward the yard. Across the concrete, the bullies already have our MC boxed in. Bro doesn't move. The 3 of them step closer. Our hero watches their faces, recognizes everyone from the kids' memories. These guys beat the boy half to death and left him on the beach to rot. The purple-haired one tells our MC to drop and do push-ups. Orders him to start right now. Our hero drops to the ground, a grown psyker doing push-ups for middle school punks, while the rage cooks behind his teeth. The bully says the kid finally learned his place. Bro stands back up and says he's in a terrible mood. Our MC tells them he has 0 interest in fighting children. But these 3 have earned what's coming. The spirit panics, reminds our hero that a psyker can't use power on civilians. Our MC says he already knows. Bro mutters under his breath. The purple-haired one asks what the hell he's saying to himself. Another bully laughs and says the kid finally lost his mind. Our MC tells the bully to put his fist down. A kick catches the big one clean in the gut and folds him in half. The second guy swings. Bro steps past it and punches straight through. Both of them hit the ground at the same time. The third one freezes. A middle schooler just dropped 2 bigger guys without breaking a sweat. The purple-haired one screams and charges, comes in full speed. Our hero catches the punch mid-air, slams a counter straight into the jaw. The kid bounces off the pavement and stays down. One of the fallen bullies stares up. Can't figure out how a kid grabbed him like that. Our MC shakes out his wrist and steps back. A voice from behind. The red-haired senior walks up and asks the bullies if they feel guilty for beating a kid. The purple-haired one says nothing. Silence. Then a grin. The bully laughs and asks what guilt even is. Calls it sickening to watch an idiot play hero. The senior's face goes cold. Says if the bully doesn't have a conscience, he'll knock one into the kid with his own fists. Rolls up his sleeves and says the installation starts now. School rooftop. The senior drags the purple-haired bully up the stairs. A punch catches the kid before he can even lift his arms. The bully stumbles back in shock. The senior closes the distance and the purple-haired one breaks into a sprint across the roof. An uppercut drops the bully onto the concrete. The kid tries to crawl away. Another punch lands square. This one snaps the bully's head sideways. The kid crumples. A groan slips through the bully's teeth. The senior plants a foot over the beaten kid, asks if he feels guilty yet. The bully spits back and tells him to get lost. The redhead grabs the collar and says that was only round 1. The senior's eyes go dark. The bully's face drains of color. A voice cuts across the yard, tells the group to stop right there, stands in the middle of the schoolyard with both hands in his pockets. The purple-haired one calls the senior by name. The redhead asks what the point is of beating someone that weak. The bully's face twists, asks if the senior just called him weaker than that kid, grinds his teeth and clenches both fists, screams and charges at the senior full speed. The swing rips through the air. Our MC steps in from the side. The senior's foot cracks the ground where the bully just stood. A hand catches our MC by the arm and a voice tells him to stop. Bro freezes. The grip is way too strong for a high schooler. The senior swings, catches our hero clean. The 2 of them lock up. A kick sends our MC sliding backward across the concrete. Our hero hits the ground and rolls. The senior covers the gap in a single step. Bro barely gets out of the way. Our MC's jaw tightens. This guy is way too fast. The spirit yells from the necklace, tells our hero the opponent is a psyker and he can't win like this. The senior's fist grazes our MC's cheek. Bro tilts out of it at the last second, slides back 3 full steps from the force alone. Our MC catches his breath, necklace swinging across his chest. The spirit curses under its breath. Bro wipes his face and stares at the senior, realizes this guy is a psyker. The redhead stares right back. Our MC holds up both hands and says they should stop. Fighting each other gets them nowhere. The senior's eyes go wide. Our hero pulls out a bandage and says the guy hurt his face. Mid-fight first aid, no warning. The redhead blinks, completely thrown off by the move. The 2 of them stand in silence. The bandage changes hands without a word. Our MC turns and walks away. The senior watches him go. A companion says the kid took down 3 guys on his own. The blonde asks if anyone at the school could pull that off. The redhead narrows his eyes. Our MC disappears around the corner of the building. City streets, afternoon sun, a PC bang sign glows above the door. Our MC sits at one of the computers with the spirit hovering beside him. Bro lays the necklace on the desk and asks the spirit how it knew the senior was a psyker. The spirit says it felt the impact when the two of them clashed, read the energy through the hit. When our MC made contact, the spirit figured out the rest from the force. Our hero calls that useful. The spirit says it's nothing, claims it can pull way more detail using the eye of insight. Our MC eats a snack and says the only power he can rely on is a villain's, asks how to start. The spirit explains that villains run on desire and emotion, says for our MC, anger is the trigger. Bro's expression shifts, anger, that one word sinks in deep. Our MC launches out of the chair and starts tearing the PC bang apart, flips keyboards and screams at the top of his lungs. Blue energy crackles across his skin. The scream shakes the walls of the building. Bro starts yelling threats at everyone in the room. The spirit's eye blows wide open. The spirit screams and asks what he's doing. Our MC yells that he's raging. The spirit says to do it in his head, not with his body. And Bro fires back that the spirit should have mentioned that part first. A monitoring facility buried in the city. Screens flash red. The display reads a villain's code name. Operators scramble. The RC measurement just spiked past every limit on the board. A woman in uniform watches the data climb. The reading blew past the maximum the system can display. One of the operators calls the numbers suspicious. The measurement hit around 30% of the gate threshold. If the target is an active S-rank villain or a rampager, once the investigation agency clears the response, the woman says she can finally deploy psykers. Orders go out across the facility. The team locks in. Our MC stands outside the school building. The air around him hums. A status screen pops up in front of his eyes, floating in midair like a game display. The screen shows a hidden skill and a number underneath. The spirit asks if that says 300 mana points. Our hero asks if that's a lot. The spirit says the old body didn't even register on the scale. This kid actually has a reserve, just not much of one. The spirit calls it a drop in the bucket. Won't be enough to run abilities at full power. The floating eye says the necklace works best with pure energy. Bro asks where to start training. An alley behind the school. The spirit hovers in front of our MC. The spirit tells him to focus on a single image. First ability to learn is the shadow knife. The floating eye says to build a picture of a blade in his mind. Our MC asks if he's doing it right. A transparent knife takes shape in his hand. Pure mana, glowing blue. The spirit can't believe it. The thing actually formed on the first try. Bro swings the blade and it holds. The floating eye says the shape isn't locked to a knife, tells our MC he can pour mana into any form, and asks if he wants to try a shield. Our hero nods. The spirit says there's no rush. This much is enough for one session. Bro pulls the energy back and the blade dissolves in his hand. A thought hits on the walk home. The kid's life. The spirit fills in the blanks. The boy's parents passed away. An older sister at university covers both their costs. She works part-time jobs on top of classes. Our hero looks at a picture of the girl and the boy. This body has a whole life attached to it. An explosion rips through a building across the street. Glass blows out of every window on the front face. Dust and debris pour into the air. A second blast shakes the ground under our MC's feet. Civilians scatter. Someone screams that it's a villain. People pull out their phones. The villain is already trending and social media goes wild. Our MC sees the fire climbing the side of the building. The spirit tells him to stay back. Bro breaks into a run toward the wreckage. A voice from the necklace calls after him and says to stop. Our hero says there are people trapped inside. The spirit shoots back, says our MC's body can't handle a real fight. The boy keeps running, says there's no barrier on the building and someone is stuck in there. Tells the spirit he can't walk away when he knows people are going to die. The spirit goes quiet. A memory from long ago plays behind the floating eye. The partner acted the same way. The floating eye says the older psyker had the exact same reflex, always sprinting toward the worst part of the map. Our MC stands in front of the burning building and looks up at the smoke. Bro says he's going in. The spirit's eye goes wide. The floating eye asks what our MC thinks he's doing. Says this fight has nothing to do with him. Our hero says it does. There's a hostage inside that building. The spirit says his body isn't built for combat yet. Our MC says he doesn't care. A psyker who runs from danger when someone needs help isn't a psyker at all. Even in a body half his size, that part of him hasn't changed. The spirit stares at our MC, says the partner was exactly like this. Same reflex, same stubbornness. The floating eye thinks back to the chain. It chose the older psyker. The older psyker chose our MC's partner, and the partner chose our hero. The spirit says it believes in that chain. Our MC takes off running toward the building. His feet hit the ground hard. The spirit screams, tells our MC to transform right now, says it will back him up with everything it has. Inside the wrecked building, walls blown apart, ceiling half gone, rubble everywhere, dust still falling. A woman on the floor begs the villain to stop, screams for him to please stop. The villain looms over her with fire rolling in his hand, tells her not to cry, says she'll be fine, counts down on his fingers with a grin getting wider each second, orders her to give him a cheese smile, says just like his, and the grin splits ear to ear. The villain stands in full view, a rank codenamed Blaster. Outside the building, the red-haired senior arrives at the scene. The senior says he underestimated the freak. The redhead moves toward the building. One of the team members reacts, eyes wide. Another one apologized for being late, got stuck at work. They already cut off civilian access and blocked the perimeter, but the villain pushed deeper inside. No one can reach him from out here. The senior asks what the situation is. Blaster is confirmed on the upper floors. The team can't figure out why the villain is this active on a dark night. Monitor data fills the screen. Orders come through from command. The villain screams at the hostages to get closer. An explosion tears through another floor of the building. The blast sends debris flying and the whole structure shakes. The villain throws his arms wide and soaks in the chaos. Lets out a long breath of satisfaction. One of the nearby responders asks if they should pull back. The villain waves everyone in, says the show isn't over yet. Another blast rips through the walls. Rubble crashes down near the entrance. The villain says his guests have arrived, waves them inside and tells them not to be shy. Energy tears through the building from the opposite end. Our MC smashes through the wall in villain form. A slash of blue mana rips the air apart. The ceiling above the hostages cracks from the shockwave. Shards scatter across the floor. Our hero spots the hostages, a woman and a child frozen on a bench. The spirit floats beside him. The skull emblem on our MC's chest starts glowing bright. The necklace surges. Energy pours off the mark in waves. The blast from the transformation blows the surrounding walls outward. The hostages stare at Bro. The spirit pulls back in shock. Our MC charges forward. Our hero tears through the wreckage toward the villain with the spirit trailing behind. The shockwave from inside cracks the exterior of the building. The explosion punches a hole clean through the side wall. Civilians outside watch fire spread across every floor. The structure groans and buckles under its own weight. Our MC stands in the rubble, skull emblem blazing on the back of his jacket. Someone outside says the hostages are both alive. The villain grins and dusts himself off in the wreckage. The red-haired freak isn't done yet. One of the watchers says the kid didn't even knock, just ripped straight through the wall. Nobody can figure out who he is. The villain says he'll handle the new guest personally. Fire erupts from his fist and the punch connects with our MC's face. A follow-up slash rips across the gap. Blood sprays across our hero's cheek. The hit drives Bro backward through the debris. A second blast of fire tears through the room. Our MC plants his feet. Blue energy crackles up his arm and locks into place. Our hero's eyes lock onto the villain. Read the attack pattern from the start. A blue fist catches the villain square in the jaw and the freak drops. The villain crumbles, lets out a groan, and sinks into the rubble. The freak lies half buried in concrete, electricity crackling above him. He spits blood and says he knew it. Asks if our MC really thinks the same trick works twice. Bro grabs the villain by the skull, blue lightning tearing from his fist, and tells the freak exactly what he thinks of him. Our MC stands in the wreckage in villain form, blue energy tearing off his body in every direction. The power keeps building, and Bro has zero control over it. A scream tears from his throat. He demands more. Another one rips through the building, even louder. This kid won't stop. The villain form is devouring everything in reach. From inside the necklace, the spirit calls out to him. The floating eye screams and tells our MC to stop right now. Bro snaps back to himself. Chest heaving, hands shaking, Blaster lies crumpled in the rubble, face beaten beyond recognition. Our hero stares at his own hands and can't process what just happened. The spirit says he was in a state of uncontrollable frenzy. Blood covers half of Bro's face, one eye blue, the other gold. The floating eye explains that his emotions went haywire and sent him into a full rampage. A villain with a higher RC measurement could have leveled the whole block. Our MC cuts the spirit off and says, enough. Bro steadies himself and tells the spirit he's fine. Rubble crashes down around them. The hostages, a woman and a child, sit frozen in the wreckage. Our hero turns toward them, and the spirit goes quiet. Both of them stare at Bro with pure terror, shaking, clutching each other, fully convinced the guy who saved them is going to kill them next. An ambulance pulls up outside. Paramedics load Blaster onto a stretcher. The freak's face is nothing but blood. Rescue workers tend to the hostages while the seniors unit watches from the perimeter. Officials frame the whole thing as a territory dispute between villains. The red-haired senior stands in the rubble holding a child's teddy bear. He mutters that the villains kidnapped a kid and holds the stuffed animal tighter. One of the officers says death is the answer for villains, then stops and asks if a villain actually saved the hostages. Another officer confirms there were plenty of witnesses. Two cops turn to the senior, confused. The redhead clenches his jaw. A phone call comes in. The braided man says he'll arrive soon. Back at the scene, the senior stares at the teddy bear. It lies on the ground, in the rubble, abandoned. A facility stands dark against the night. Our MC sits outside in normal form, staring up at the sky with the necklace against his chest. Faces flash back. The woman screaming, the child crying, both terrified of the person who saved them. Bro drops his head into both hands on a park bench. The spirit floats over and asks if he's all right. Our hero lifts his head and lets out a long breath. Bro sits there with the necklace dangling between his fingers. A phone lights up in his hand. Beside him, the floating eye mentions the boy's sister. He stares at the screen and says nothing. At the investigation agency, a building across the city, a plaque on the wall reads staff room. The braided man slams his fists on the desk and demands to know who this villain is. Officers and the senior crowd around a monitor, all locked on the footage. The recording shows our MC in villain form standing over the hostages while they shake in fear. He stands apart from the group, completely silent. Night settles over an apartment complex. A door plate reads room 701. Our MC walks inside and finds the place quiet. Bro heads to the kitchen and spots a note on the counter. It tells him to eat what's on the table. Underneath, the sister signed it as the world's cutest sister, complete with a cartoon wink and a doodle of her face. Turns out our hero is late. The sister already scolded him, said dinner was getting cold. She told him there's no mercy for kids who don't keep dinner time. Someone shoves bread at Bro's face before he can sit down. A voice from the side tells him to keep quiet and eat. He takes a bite, and the tension drops right out of his face. Bro reads the note one more time. The table is covered with everything the sister could put together, a full spread. Our hero sits down in front of it all with the necklace hanging against his chest. A spoon dips into the warm soup. The first taste lands. Bro says it's been a long time since anyone prepared a meal for him, eats in the warm light of the kitchen with the spirit floating beside him. After the meal is done, our MC sits alone at the table and says, "Thank you for the food." Morning light hits the apartment building. The alarm reads 7:50, blaring. Our MC groans and won't open his eyes. Bro drags himself upright in bed. He stumbles toward the bathroom, stands in front of the mirror, half dead. Toothbrush and cup sit on the shelf. A normal kid's bathroom. Our hero brushes his teeth with the necklace swinging from his neck. The reflection stares back, a grown psyker trapped inside a teenager's face. Bro rinses his mouth and sets the cup down. The spirit floats in the steam and says it would turn back time if it could. The sister greets our MC with a good morning. He fires back that it isn't one. She asks if he's heading to school and tells him to at least say something before walking out. The girl stands at the door with her arms crossed, the kid's older sister running herself into the ground on part-time pay. Bro mumbles a response. The sister stops him, says she almost forgot. Holds up a card and tells our MC it's for daily expenses. She says not to use more than he needs. Our hero tries to push it back. The girl waves him off and insists, explains the amount is already set aside from her wages, covers food and transport. Bro stares at the card for too long, tries to refuse one more time. She cuts him off and says to take it already. Our MC gives in and says all right. He thanks her. The sister shoves the debit card into his hand at the door. Bro holds it. A full-grown psyker who just got an allowance from a college girl working 3 jobs thanks her and promises to use it wisely. She smiles and tells him to have a good day. A neighbor catches our MC in the hallway and says he looks different. The neighbor figures it out, says Bro actually combed his hair for the first time ever, and he looks like a whole new person. Our hero says he literally just used a comb and keeps walking. School entrance, students filing in. Our MC walks through the gate. Inside the classroom, a few heads turn. A blonde kid blocks Bro's path near a desk. The bully snaps and asks what the hell our hero is doing near his seat. Classmates watch from the sides. The blonde curses under his breath. Our MC stares back and asks where his own seat is. The bully steps closer. Bro doesn't move an inch. The kid finally backs down and storms off. Our hero drops into the seat and pulls out his phone. The spirit hovers beside him. Classmates nearby start whispering about the news. Our MC leans back in his chair, scrolling. The spirit reads over Bro's shoulder. One of the classmates says villains have been showing up more often lately. Another kid calls it scary. A third brings up a serial killer case from the news. An indiscriminate killer. The whole class gets loud, everyone talking over each other. Someone describes the victim, says the body was found dismembered. A news report shows the anchor covering the story. Our MC mutters the villain's codename, Screwdriver. The entire room goes dead quiet. Classmates turn and stare at Bro. The spirit's eye blows wide. One of the kids asks how he knows that name. Our hero brushes it off and says he saw it on the news. The spirit tells Bro to keep his mouth shut. One wrong word, and the investigation agency lands right on top of them. Across the city, a completely different scene. The braided man screams at his crew and calls them idiots. Every single assignment came back, failed. He's done listening to excuses. His fist slams the table and he tells the group to stop grinning. One of the subordinates asks what the braided man wants done about it. He says he'll throw money at the problem if he has to. A figure steps out from behind the group. Orange hair, heavy build, red earring. The brute cracks a grin and offers to handle it personally. He asks what friends are for. With a wider grin, the brute tells the braided man to pick a body part, says he'll break it clean off. The thug grabs him by the shoulder and asks if he should just kill the target instead. School bell cuts through the building. Students pour into the hallway yelling about karaoke and weekend plans. Our MC heads for the exit when a voice stops him cold. Right ahead, the red-haired senior, cross-earrings swinging, bag slung over one shoulder. He asks if Bro's injuries have healed and says he doesn't even know the kid's name. Close up on the bandage stuck to our hero's cheek, Bro points at his own face and tells the senior to judge for himself. Beside our MC, the spirit floats with the necklace dangling, and from inside the chain, the floating eye warns him not to get close to that psyker, or it'll raise suspicions. Our hero crouches in a side hallway with the spirit hovering. Turns out the redhead was keeping tabs on this kid from the start. Back in the corridor, the senior catches up and asks if Bro called for him. Blue eyes lock on our MC, staring hard. The redhead offers to walk home together instead of wandering alone. A smirk crosses our hero's face. Bro turns and walks away without answering. Behind him, the senior calls out, wants a name. Our MC throws it back mid-stride without turning around. Watching Bro pass through the school gate, the redhead repeats the name under his breath with a slight smile. Outside in the afternoon light, our hero squints, mutters that the whole exchange felt awkward. The spirit trails beside Bro as students head home on the sidewalk. From inside the necklace, the floating eye identifies the senior, says his name ties back to the investigation agency. A flash of the redhead in full psyker gear fills our MC's head, fire rolling off a raised fist. One look and the spirit's eye goes wide. Our hero keeps walking while the floating eye says to check details online. Bro asks if the spirit is scared of the guy. It fires back that a psyker at that level belongs in a training academy, not a regular school. Both hands stay in our MC's pockets, face flat. Behind a brick wall, two figures peek around the corner, watching him. The floating eye spots them first and shoots a glance over its shoulder, trailing 20 steps back. A thug in a black cap with blonde bangs, phone pressed to his ear. Cap Thug reports in and says they're approaching the target zone. From a rooftop, the area gets scoped out. 3 thugs wait on a side street, a purple-haired one and an orange-haired one up front with a bigger guy behind. The orange-haired one grins while the purple-haired one smirks. A cigarette hits the concrete. All 3 step forward at once. Our MC cuts through a back alley past a metal staircase. Dumpsters and trash fill the narrow path ahead. Bro breaks into a full sprint, in sneakers pounding the pavement. The Cap Thug watches from a corner and points the crew in our hero's direction. 2 of the thugs press against a wall. The blonde clutches his chest and says his heart nearly stopped. Cap Thug's eyes go furious. Our MC is already gone. The group stares at an empty alley. Orange hair grabs the Cap Thug by the collar and screams. Beside them, the blonde stumbles as the purple-haired one closes in. Peering into a side passage, Cap Thug freezes. Dead end. 0 trace of Bro. All 4 charge deeper into the alleys after our hero. Inside the necklace, the spirit screams that the path ahead is a dead end. Corridors twist. Cap Thug reaches out, yelling for backup. The orange-haired one points down an empty path and curses. High above, our MC vanished, and one of the thugs screams not to leave him behind. Dusk drops over the industrial blocks. 3 thugs march through a dark street near storefronts. Orange hair leads from the front with both fists tight. Cap Thug catches up from behind and the group stops. A fist smashes into someone's face. The braided man's glasses fill the frame, calls his crew idiots who keep getting played. Bro steps out of the shadows and asks the thugs if they were looking for him. Sweat runs down the glasses thug's neck. Every face in the group locks onto our MC. Our hero stands alone at the far end of a dark alley, one hand tucked in his jacket. Golden eyes catch the dim light above the bandage. Overhead, 5 thugs face bro near a massive pipe. Mounted on the cracked wall behind them, a security camera captures every second. Its red lens hums. On a screen somewhere else entirely, our MC's face fills a monitor. A dark room packed with glowing displays surrounds a single chair. Wires and energy drinks scattered across the desk. Gloved fingers twirl a pointed tool. The figure leans back in the glow, purple and gold suit, pink visor, headphones draped around the neck. And that grin says it all as the figure whispers that they have a guest. A dark alley between buildings. Our MC stands at the far end, bag on one shoulder, 5 thugs blocking the path. One of them confirms the face and says they came to find this kid. Another leans in and mutters that bro is just some high schooler. Silence from our hero. The lead thug grins and starts counting, gives 3 seconds. Bro has to kneel if he wants to live. Our MC starts his own count. 1, 2, 3, and he throws the first hit before anyone reacts. The thug screams, never saw it coming. Fingers jab straight into the guy's eyes and his whole body locks up. He drops to both knees, hands over his face, howling and cursing. A kick catches the next one across the jaw and sends him into the wall. Rage twists across the big one's face. From the necklace, the spirit asks why bro isn't using mana. Our hero fires back that he doesn't need mana for guys like these. The floating eye stares at bro. Orange hair curses and charges with a full Muay Thai combo. Our MC reads every strike and picks the guy apart. Bro counters through the guard, fist to jaw, knee to ribs. The orange-haired one drops. National level Muay Thai runner-up, taken apart, barehanded. Cap thug and the purple-haired one freeze behind them. Blood hits the pavement as orange hair spits. A knee tears through the last of his guard. The scream fills the alley as his stance collapses. Our MC says he was thinking of going easy, but they really know how to get on his nerves. Energy starts crackling off bro's fists. One shot folds the next thug in half. The group lies scattered and our hero tells them to get up, asks if they're done. Cap thug screams that bro is dead. Golden eyes don't even blink. The thug charges. Our MC catches the fist and tells the guy he's already dead. The hit sends him through a wall. Across town, 2 figures discuss. The first guy they sent isn't answering, probably done for. Back in the alley, bro stands over the cap thug, one hand in his pocket. Those golden eyes catch the low light above the bandage. A training facility on the other side of the city. Heavy bags swinging, fighters on the mats. Treadmills and weights line the far wall. One fist tears a heavy bag clean off the chain. C+ ranked psyker, striker class, pure physical power. Someone walks in after hours and apologizes for being late. A gym member recognizes the visitor. The blue-haired psyker with the eye patch looks up and asks what brings him in. Laughter fills the ring area. The guys joke about beating someone under the pretext of sparring. Eye patch psyker grins and says their newest member got wrecked in training. Beside him, the blonde can't stop laughing, calls the kid arrogant for refusing pads. That grin drops off the eye patch psyker's face. A punch connects in the ring. The striker drives through a sparring partner. The blonde winces and calls the dude an arrogant punk. 2 gym members react in shock. Blood sprays off the partner's face as another hit lands. Eye patch psyker and the others watch with wide eyes, 3 faces locked on the action. Back in the alley, our MC drives his fist into orange hair one more time. The hit sends the thug crashing through debris. Bro stands over the wreckage, jacket open, fist still sparking with energy. One of the thugs mutters that it was brutal. Cap thug and 3 others stare at our hero from the ground, blood covering every face. Our MC grabs the orange-haired one by the skull, eyes glowing red. A thought cuts through. What separates a psyker from a villain? Bro asks himself if power is really the only line between the two. The answer lands hard. He needs more strength. Without it, the people around him will keep dying. Faces from the past flash through his mind, the eye-patch psyker, the white-haired partner, the masked figure behind them. Our hero swears he'll become stronger. Strong enough that the worst won't happen again? A voice cuts through the alley and cheerfully suggests sparring. The remaining thugs scramble and say they need to get out. Screaming fills the corridor. Perched on the wall above, a figure in purple and gold crouches. Someone shouts that it's a villain. Cap thug and the purple-haired one scream the code name, Driver. The B+ ranked villain stands atop a massive screwdriver against the sky, arms crossed, pink visor gleaming. The villain stands on the massive screwdriver against the sky, every thug below screaming the code name. Pink visor, purple coat, not a single worry on the face. The purple-haired thug goes completely white. All of them break into a sprint. cursing, shoving, tripping over each other to get out. Our MC stands still in the alley while the last one bolts, bag over one shoulder. Golden eyes stay fixed on the figure dropping down. The villain lands clean in the alley. The spirit calls out in panic beside our hero. Bro watches the guy walk up, screwdriver on one shoulder, completely casual. Right in front of our MC, the villain stops. Screwdriver tip against the ground, the spirit hovering between them. One gloved hand grips the handle tighter. The villain shoulders the weapon and laughs, says it seems like the kid over here has absolutely no idea who he's dealing with. Up close, the guy in the visor asks if Bro seriously doesn't recognize who's standing in front of him. The screwdriver barrel crackles to life, energy arcs wrapping around the metal. Light inside the barrel goes white-hot, spiraling wide. Our MC stands planted, his own energy ripping outward in answer. Bro catches the full blast with both arms up, holds it right there. The villain charges another orb in the palm, grinning. Energy tears through the alley in a wave of light. The screwdriver barrel pops, and out comes a rose. Confetti rains down, full celebration mode. The guy in the visor says he's kidding and cracks up laughing. Our hero and the spirit stare back with the deadest expressions in the city. That grin drops. The villain goes full serious. Screwdriver on one shoulder, power radiating off every inch. Bro and the spirit stand there. Zero words, zero expression. Our MC turns around and starts walking. The villain yells, asking where he's going. Our hero says, home. Alone in the alley, the villain watches him leave. Overhead, our MC and the spirit walk the empty street together, no rush at all. The floating eye turns back toward the alley. The spirit recognizes that screwdriver. The memory hits the single eye hard. They reach a building entrance. Bro walks through the door, the spirit trailing close behind. Inside, the spirit freezes midair, confused. Our hero exhales, tiredness written across the face. From behind, the floating eye tells him to hurry up. Wide view of the building against the open sky. Energy rips through the room. Electricity cracks along every surface. Our MC stands in the center of the surge, power flooding off his body in waves. The spirit flies backward in shock, can't process what it's seeing. Bro's face catches the glow, one gold eye, one blue, both wide open. Our hero tells himself he can't let this go. This kind of power can't just pass him by. Across the city, a rooftop under the early sky. The villain throws a spinning kick in the open air, testing himself alone. Mutters that the kid didn't even flinch. Wonders out loud who that was. Our MC closes the gap in a single burst, lightning trailing behind, fist already cocked. The villain can't track the speed, jaw drops behind the visor, a fist crashes through the guard and catches the villain clean across the face, blood off the jaw on impact. The hit launches the guy backward across broken concrete. The villain tries to recover mid-slide. Our hero's silhouette rips through the dark, red eyes burning, shadow blades stretching from both arms. Shadow knives carve through the air and catch the villain dead center. Debris explodes as the villain goes straight through a wall behind him. Bro's mismatched eyes stay locked forward, jaw set. The villain tumbles through rubble, body spinning out. The screwdriver spirals through the wreckage beside him, still crackling with energy. Weapon summoning. The villain calls the screwdriver back, and it reforms in his grip midair. The spirit watches from below as the villain rises above the buildings. Our MC stands firm on a ledge, the spirit at his side, both watching the power build overhead. The villain grins down, calls that attack something new, admits the whole thing was blinding. A thought crosses the visor, figures he should give back exactly what he got. The guy asks if returning the favor sounds fair. Driver beam. The barrel lights up and locks on from above. The full beam fires. White light swallows the entire block. Everything above the rooftops goes bright, the whole city trembling under the blast. Dust clears from the blast. Our MC stands right where he was. The wall behind Bro is torn apart, but he hasn't moved an inch. Behind the visor, the villain can't process what he's seeing, asks what just happened. The villain gets launched backward by a counterblast spinning through the air. Our hero stands with electricity ripping off both arms, completely calm after tanking the beam. The spirit checks and announces the villain's mana is over 1,000, triple what Bro has. The full stat sheet pops up, villain class, machine attributes, mana at 1,100. The spirit says, The floating eye asks if our MC is even listening. Bro grins and says this is going to be fun. The villain asks if our hero is really that confident, admits Bro did a solid job blocking the beam, asks if maybe he was going too easy, screams one more time and fires the screwdriver again. The blast tears through the alley at full power. Energy clashes midair and the whole block shakes from the impact. The villain slides back across the ground. Concrete and dust fly as both fighters crash through debris. The villain fires the screwdriver point blank, energy spiraling off the barrel. Curses under his breath, calls our MC a bastard. The villain can't believe it. Bro is reading every movement before it happens, asks who this kid even is, thinks there's no way he wouldn't have heard about someone this skilled. The villain shouts to wait, asks himself if this is the kid who took down that other villain. Our MC doesn't answer, charges in with a full energy swing. The hit connects. A second strike follows right behind it. Bro catches the villain mid-recovery. Visor cracks from the impact. Two glowing eyes shine through the dark. A full power blast catches the villain in the chest. Pink energy floods the frame. The villain crashes hard and skids across the pavement. Another hit drives him into the concrete. Blood on the ground. The villain spits and calls our MC crazy. Asks if Bro is some kind of fighting master. Can't make sense of the skill level. The two of them clash again, energy flying in every direction. The villain fires an orb from the screwdriver. Machine hand. The weapon transforms and the mechanical fist slams forward. Shockwaves tear through the buildings around them. Blue energy erupts between the two. The blast expands outward, lighting up the block. The energy rips across the battlefield. The hit connects. The villain reacts in pure shock. Our MC stands in the center of the wreckage. Energy crackling. Jacket torn open. They trade hits again at full speed. Fists and blasts in every direction. The villain admits Bro is no joke. Says the way he fights feels different, trained. Nobody moves like that without professional combat experience. Our hero stands calm after the exchange, barely winded. Says the villain can't be this good at fighting unless he was professionally trained. A voice cuts in, says they found him. An energy blast follows. The villain snaps at whoever showed up. The villain's reinforcements drop in. First, a woman in a wide hat, a rank summoner, dark energy trailing off her coat. Second, white-haired archer with a red bandana and a bow, B rank. One of them groans, asks why the villain is dragging this out and going easy. Third, a massive shirtless striker B rank, gold energy wrapped around both fists. The full crew stands behind the villain on the rooftop. One asks if their leader called back up because a kid destroyed him. Another repeats the word, destroyed? The villain insists that's not right. He wasn't destroyed. Yet. A third says it really does look like he got destroyed. The villain says again, not destroyed. Yet. One of them just screams destroyed at the top of their lungs. The crew can't believe an amateur did this. One of them mutters the villain's codename in disbelief. Our MC asks why the villain started this fight in the first place. The villain says he wanted to go up against someone strong. Our hero listens with no expression. The villain adds that he can't leave a murderer running around killing people left and right. Drops in closer. Bro reacts. One of the crew asks if they're talking about the serial killer. Says there'd be nothing wrong with cutting that murderer's head off. Our MC asks if the villain is calling him the murderer. The villain says yes. Bro fires back that he's being falsely accused. Says someone actually bought into fake rumors. One of the crew wonders who has the guts to talk back to their leader like this. The spirit whispers that it wants to kill the villain right now. Our hero processes what just happened. The villain says he'll get to the point. Bro fires back that he's not the killer they're looking for. The villain asks for proof. Our MC goes silent. One of the crew jumps in and says that means Bro could be the culprit. Our MC's face twists. Can't believe this? Those eyes light up and our hero charges. Tells the villain he'll beat him to death for the accusation. Calls the guy a rude bastard. The shirtless striker charges in. Gold energy wrapping around both fists. Death gauntlet. The gauntlet slammed down with full force. The striker screams and drives through. The hit catches our MC dead on. Energy tearing through the ground. The spirit panics, asks what kind of dirty combination that was. The striker and the others keep pressing. Bro catches the next strike and holds it, eyes glowing. One of the crew taunts our hero, asks if he's turning pale already. Our MC screams and fires back. Energy rips through the alley. Bro tells them this is the cure for scumbags like them. The punch sends the striker flying, a full power blast that tears through the wall behind him. The woman in the hat reacts first, eyes wide. The villain in the visor watches without a word. The explosion fills the alley from end to end. The villain clicks his tongue and says that was unnecessary. The striker is face down on the ground, completely out. The archer with the red bandana can't believe it. Says the kid just took out someone ranked third in their crew. The spirit asks if our MC is okay. Says Bro's body is reacting badly. Our hero explains that it's because his body and soul haven't fully adjusted yet. The spirit pushes further. Says this needs to be dealt with before the next fight. Warns that if the mismatch gets worse, the damage will pile up. The spirit asks about the way Bro fights, the combination style. Our MC brushes it off, says there's no need to worry about the details. The villain stands with his crew behind him and calls our MC's power impressive for a kid. Says the raw output is a surprise. Didn't expect this from an amateur. Calls bro an exception to everything they've seen. The villain does something unexpected. Holds out a hand. Our MC watches. The villain's crew watches too. The villain asks if bro knows what this is. Our hero identifies it. A magic crystal. The spirit confirms it. The villain explains that villains can increase their spell power through intense training, and also by eating magic crystals. Tells our MC to eat it. Bro holds the crystal in one hand. Asks why the villain is giving it to him. The villain grins and says he wants to make a deal. Asks if our hero is interested. Says he can't stand injustice, talking about the indiscriminate murders. Tells bro he was going to ask him to catch the real killer in his place. Our MC points out that he's the one being suspected, and now he's supposed to accept a deal from the accuser. The spirit whispers that bro is considering it. One of the crew reacts, says it sounds like manipulation. Bro thinks it through. The streets go quiet between the group. The villain and our MC stand across from each other. The spirit warns bro, says the villain clearly wants something else too. Adds that the difference in power between them is still significant and the crystal would help. Our hero says he already knows that. Adds one more thing. Bro makes his decision. The deal is set. Our MC asks the spirit if it's sure the crystal is real. The spirit confirms. Bro stares at the glowing crystal in his hand, energy pulsing through it. Remembers someone from his past who always warned him against eating anything suspicious and swallows it anyway. Stands on the rooftop with the spirit floating beside him. Says nothing changed. The spirit tells him to wait. Energy starts surging through bro's body. Our MC asks what the hell is happening. The power floods outward. The spirit tells him to calm down and not panic. The energy rips wider, crackling through the air around him. Gold light explodes off our hero's body. The surge keeps building. Bro realizes it. His spell power just went up. Gold energy tears through the sky above the building. The crystal's power still ripping outward. The spirit confirms it. The magic crystal actually worked. Calls the growth absurd, even by catastrophic class standards. Our MC mutters that this whole thing feels like cheating. The floating eye agrees, says a jump this large shouldn't be possible. Then the stat number hits and that single eye goes wide. Spell points sitting at 350. Bro pulls up the hologram and scans through every entry. One line stops him. Asks what this new section is. The screen reads out the full list. Main skill shadow knives and self-healing. Hidden skill magic crystal extraction. Spell points 350. Our hero asks how extraction works. The spirit admits it has no idea either. Turns out the skill rips spell power straight from weapons, including anything forged from spell crystals. Bro reads the description once and calls the hidden skill garbage. The spirit nearly explodes at the disrespect. Our MC shrugs it off and says he was hoping for more. A department store sits under the evening sky. Inside a cafe, a guy in a yellow jacket and purple braids yanks out a golden sword and swings it around, fully committed to the performance. Brags that this blade belonged to his favorite king, while the red-haired guy across the table has already checked out of the conversation. Red Hair cuts the nonsense and puts the sword aside. Asks if Yellow Jacket found anything on the villain who went up against the screwdriver villain. Yellow Jacket shoves a donut in his mouth instead of answering. Red Hair catches the dodge right away. Finally admits he searched every database and came up empty. Figures the target must be a freshly transformed villain. Floats the idea of an outsider, then kills it himself. Says unlikely. A woman nearby can't stop staring at Red Hair. Yellow Jacket points it out and gets ignored. The guy in the braids brings up the district special team, says they went on red alert because of the serial killer, drops the word suspect into the conversation. Red Hair's face shifts. Yellow Jacket lifts his cup and asks if the hero is really that confident about all of this. Brings up the screwdriver villain. The image of the guy beaten down still fresh in both their heads. That face stays locked, zero expression. Fingers tighten around the cup. Yellow Jacket watches through his glasses, cup to his lips. The two sit across from each other, both still. Red Hair's mind goes to our MC, and a blue-haired woman says nothing. At a restaurant, Red Hair tells the group he set a curfew for the younger ones, adds that everyone needs to stay careful until the serial killer gets caught. He stares through the window into the dark, jaw set. A building catches the last of the fading sky. A camera shutter fires. The photographer tells the girls to look cuter and hold the pose. Two of them lean in for the shot, the pink-haired one and her dark-haired partner in matching shirts. The photographer yells approval and snaps again. Both girls switch into new poses without missing a beat. The session wraps, and the photographer calls it. The pink-haired girl checks her phone and freezes, 7 on the dot. She heads out past the shops alone, wanted to grab a limited edition bottle before closing. checks the screen one more time and realizes she won't make it. Behind her, a girl with dark hair and a bun closes the gap on the sidewalk. Intro card drops, freshman at the same high school. A voice calls out to the pink-haired girl, and she spins around. Golden eyes lock on. The dark-haired girl stops in her tracks, grabs the pink-haired one by the arm, and announces they're hitting the crane machine right now. The pink-haired girl stumbles, asks where this is coming from. The dark-haired girl drags her forward and says 1 round is all they need. The pink-haired one protests that her brother set a curfew. Full begging mode comes out, hands clasped, eyes wide. 1 round, that's the deal, and the pink-haired girl gives in. Behind a tree across the street, a dark figure watches both of them walk away. A single red eye catches the last of the light, grinning from the shadow. A news article fills the screen. The headline promises the indiscriminate killer will be caught, a special force deployed across the district. Our MC sits at a desk reading the report, the spirit floating behind him. Bro looks up from the screen. The floating eye hovers close, waiting for a response. A hand clicks the mouse and pulls up the next page. A map of the district pops up, red dots marking every murder site, the locations clustered tight. The spirit leans in beside Bro, scanning the data. Our MC asks what thing the spirit is talking about, chibi confusion on his face. A building rooftop with an antenna tower sits against the sky. A phone gets held up between them. The screwdriver villain's face fills the memory, grinning behind that pink visor, phone in hand. The villain told Bro he'd send leads about the killer through this phone, even said our MC was free to text whenever he wanted. Promised full support, asked Bro to catch the killer as a personal request. Our hero stands on the rooftop with the phone and the spirit beside him. He stares at the screen and says nothing. The phone sits in his hand, screen dark. Those eyes narrow, the internal war written across his face. Bro slams the phone down and says he can't do it, announces he has pride, refuses to trade texts with a villain like they're friends. The spirit asks where he's going, and our MC fires back that if his brain won't work, his legs will. He heads out the door without looking back. A community arcade sits under the evening sky. A crane claw locks onto a stuffed bear and starts to lift. The dark-haired girl clasps her hands together. The pink-haired one grips the joystick dead serious. The bear rises inch by inch. The claw holds, drops. The bear tumbles back into the pile and both girls scream. They press their faces against the glass, total defeat written on both of them. The pink-haired girl says they should probably head out. A drone buzzes past the window outside. The drone hovers close, camera pointed down, a red letter stamped on the side. The dark-haired girl goes quiet, watches her friend's face change, asks if anything is wrong. The pink-haired girl stands still in the dim light. The dark-haired one drops her voice and says she actually saw it. Saw that? Explains that one of their schoolmates was murdered a few days ago and she was there. She saw the scene. The pink-haired girl's eyes blow wide open. The dark-haired one says she wanted to tell someone but was too scared. Feels like it could happen to her next. Fear crawls across her face as the words spill out. The pink-haired girl grabs her friend and tells her they need to move. The dark-haired one freezes, clutching her bag. Pink hair says to leave immediately, no more waiting. Both of them rush toward the exit. An explosion of light fills the frame. The building shudders, the lights cut out. The pink-haired girl asks who turned them off, both of them frozen in the dark. A shoe steps into a pool of red. Blood spreads across the floor beneath them. A voice says it's run into them again, red text bleeding through the dark. Both girls turn and stare, faces white, the blood rising around their ankles. The two of them stand in the center of a blood-soaked alley, the dark figure waiting at the end. Blood drips from above in the pitch black. Both girls scream. The pink-haired one's voice cracks through the noise. The figure calls them pitiful and rises. A B-rank villain, mage class, drenched in blood from head to toe. The stat card drops and confirms the worst. Dark energy tears through the alley around them. Our MC walks a different street with the spirit trailing beside him. The floating eye says, wandering around with no direction won't help. Adds that even if it wanted to leave, it has to stay within range. Bro stops mid-step, catches sight of the phone. The spirit asks if that's the phone the screwdriver villain gave him. Our hero opens the screen, and every muscle in his face locks. The spirit asks why he didn't throw it away despite the pride speech. On screen, the two girls, the pink-haired one and her dark-haired friend caught in the frame. Red floods the image, the danger hitting all at once. The pink-haired girl stands frozen in the blood-soaked dark, the villain blocking the only way out. She recognizes the face. This is the killer from the news, the one everyone's been searching for. Beside her, the dark-haired friend can barely breathe. A memory flashes, her brother handing her a small device, telling her to press it if anything ever goes wrong. He promised he'd find her the second it goes off. The device sits in her pocket. One hand reaches down. Fingers close around the button and squeeze. She presses it and whispers for her brother to come fast. Blood crawls down the walls around both of them. The villain tilts his head and says the two of them look exhausted, offers something he calls eternal sleep. Generous of him. The pink-haired girl snaps and screams at him to shut up, calls him insane right to his face without a single step backward. The villain laughs, calls her an excellent child. That reaction entertains him more than fear would have. Inside her head, the pink-haired girl tells herself to keep talking, stall until her brother gets there, asks the villain straight up why he kills people. The answer comes without a pause, says he craves fresh blood. Adds that tearing bodies apart is the only thing that makes him feel alive. The words sit in the air between them like poison. The villain keeps going, philosophy pouring out like he's been rehearsing this speech for years. Both girls listen with horror carved into every line on their faces. The pink-haired girl fires back, says her brother is powerful, trained under the saint at the church, dares the villain to imagine what happens when that guy shows up. The villain pauses and lets the silence stretch, then says her strong brother will also die, soon enough. The pink-haired girl screams at him to run if he's scared. That grin twists wider, promises to show her brother his sister's body instead. Blood energy surges off the villain's frame and floods the alley. Says there's one thing to handle first. A blood blade rips through the dark and catches the dark-haired girl dead center. Red explodes across the frame. The pink-haired girl screams her friend's name, voice cracking. Drops beside her, blood pooling between them. Tears fall while she holds the body close. The villain says it's her turn now and steps closer, tells her to be something sweet for her brother to find. Those red eyes lock on from above. Blood drips from the blade at his side. The pink-haired girl screams, fury, replacing every trace of fear in a single breath. Shouts at the villain with everything left in her lungs. Energy builds in both her hands. Blue light crackling between the fingers. A full blast fires straight at the villain. Zero hesitation, zero holding back. The explosion tears through the alley. The villain reacts in pure shock. Didn't expect firepower from a kid. A dark figure drops into the frame out of nowhere. Our MC tells the villain he brought a gift. The hit lands before the sentence even finishes. Bro screams and launches shadow knives, the full barrage ripping forward. Blades tear through the air in perfect formation. Every edge finds its mark. The impact sends the villain stumbling backward through debris. Our hero dives in with blue energy trailing behind, closing the distance in a heartbeat. Those eyes burn through the dark, shadow energy wrapping both arms tight. The strike connects, pink and blue energy colliding at the center of the frame. Our MC stands in the aftermath, energy still crackling off the shoulders, catches sight of the injured girl on the ground, and the expression changes completely. The blood villain rises from the rubble, long dark hair hanging over red eyes, a mark stamped across the forehead, dark coat torn to shreds. Wounded but still standing, asks who this guy is, wonders out loud if the girl's strong brother turned out to be a villain. The pink-haired girl holds her bleeding friend and looks up at the figure who just saved them. No idea who she's looking at. Our hero stands between the girls and the villain, jacket destroyed, fist still burning blue. The blood villain stares through the dark, recognition hitting behind those red eyes. Admits he's never seen skills like that and has no idea who this guy is. Connects the dots, realizes bro might be the one who took out another villain earlier, asks himself if he's the next target, grins and says this should be fun, then announces he'll retreat for today. Warns our MC not to think he's safe. Bro's eyes snap wide, promises our hero will die inside him, whatever that means. Bro repeats the word back, die. The villain cackles and calls it a sweet death. The pink-haired girl screams at him to stop and demands to know where he thinks he's going. Energy rips through the alley as our MC gives chase. Bro closes the distance, the villain barely ahead. A massive impact tears through the building, blood splatters across the walls, and the villain's laugh echoes through the wreckage. Our hero stops and curses, asks if the bastard got outside. The pink-haired girl calls out from behind, tells Bro to wait and says she needs a favor, begs him to save her friend. Drops to her knees. One word repeated over and over. The panic button sits in the frame beside her. Somewhere else, two people discuss the signal. One asks if she could have pressed it by accident. The other says, no chance. She would have called first, and she's not the type to make careless mistakes. Says the police have been alerted too. They should be on the way. A voice whispers for them to be safe. A medical facility entrance fills the frame. Someone shouts about a critical patient and begs the staff to come immediately. Instructions fly. The ambulance is coming. Stop the bleeding. Apply pressure. Work fast. Someone asks for a material with good elasticity. Our MC holds something out, says to use this. The question comes right back. What the hell is that? Bro says it has the right stretch, and that's all that matters. Someone tells him to check the girl's condition instead. The spirit moves in close and gets to work. The floating eye scans through the damage, announces there's nothing immediately fatal. Everyone exhales. The pink-haired girl asks if her friend will be okay. The answer comes back positive, if the medics arrive on time. Her whole face breaks open in relief. Sirens hit the street. The medics are fast. Our MC says he's handled the first aid, and the rest is someone else's job now. The pink-haired girl thanks him, then realizes he's already walking away. Bro doesn't look back, says there's no reason to stay once the right people are on scene. Energy trails off his body as he vanishes into the dark. The pink-haired girl watches the figure fade through the light cutting across the alley. Our hero walks alone, and the thought hits. Both of them would be dead if he'd arrived 1 second later. Bro tears across the rooftops, energy crackling with every step. Clears another gap between buildings without slowing down, lands and keeps moving. The city blurs beneath him. The spirit speaks up, says something has been bothering it for a while. Our MC asks what it is. Energy surges around Bro mid-stride. He stops, catches something ahead. The woman in the hat drops in from above, full dramatic entrance, dark energy swirling off the coat. Says they meet again. Asks if Bro doesn't remember her. Adds that forgetting would be upsetting enough to justify killing him. Our MC places the face right away. She's from the screwdriver villain's crew. Says he saw her a few hours ago and couldn't forget that fast, even if he tried. She thanks him for the compliment, asks if she ever properly introduced herself, drops her code name with a pose, says the name fits her perfectly, don't you think? Asks Bro's name in return. Our hero says he doesn't have one. She laughs, so he doesn't even have a villain name yet. Cuts the small talk and asks about the device instead. Explains that the screwdriver villain sent 3 likely strike zones for the killer. Asks if the phone delivered them. Bro confirms. Says thanks to that intel they figured out who the murderer actually is. Our MC asks if they really know. Drops the identity. Says the killer wanders the entire country committing brutal murders everywhere he goes. Admits she suspected him all along but couldn't confirm. The guy is nearly impossible to track. Starts to mention something else important, then catches herself mid-sentence and tells Bro to forget what she just said. Threatens to end him with a screwdriver if he remembers that part. Mutters that she doesn't want to upset her boss. Starts digging around, asks where she put the thing, swears it was right here, finds it. Says the screwdriver villain asked her to deliver this. Tells Bro he'll get the full explanation once the current mess is handled. Holds it out. Our MC's face locks up. Asks what the hell he's looking at. Calls it a portion of the promised wages. Bro stares at the box. Magic crystals. Can't believe what's sitting in front of him. And not just any, the absolute best ones on the market. An apartment building sits under the morning sky. A news broadcast fills the screen. The suspected villain struck again yesterday evening. Heroes arrived on scene immediately after being notified. Reports no deaths. One female high school student is hospitalized for injuries but not believed to be in danger. Our MC exhales. Thank God. Someone asks if he's heading to school. Bro says yeah, gets told to be careful out there. Things are scary lately. Bro waves back without turning around, walks alone and runs through it in his head. It's been a few days since he got this new body. Tells himself he needs to get stronger if he's going to take revenge. The spirit floats alongside and admits it still doesn't know how far this method can be trusted. The deal with the villains keeps grinding on his nerves, too. The moon hangs overhead. Bro remembers the moment. 3 high-quality magic crystals sitting right in front of him. Asked the summoner if this was really just a portion of the payment. She asked if it wasn't enough. Bro said the opposite. Too much. She agreed, warned that the blood villain is dangerously strong. Said Bro's current spell power won't be enough to beat him. Told our MC it would be fine, then handed over a micro GPS tracker the screwdriver villain built. Said Bro could use it whenever. Added that every location the blood villain was spotted got organized into one file. Told Bro to check it. Admitted she doesn't have high expectations from our hero. Said if Bro disappoints the screwdriver villain, locked eyes through the dark, and asked if he understood what that meant. Our MC turned and walked without answering. Mutters to himself, asks what the hell those people are on about. The spirit notices they're not heading towards school. Bro says he has somewhere else to be, plans to go through the data the screwdriver villain sent. The hologram pulls up. One location stands out above the rest. The school the 2 girls from last night attend is the same one flagged in the data. Says he might find clues nearby. The spirit asks if Bro plans to walk around asking strangers about the killer. Our MC says he will, if that's what it takes. The spirit adds that something else is bothering it. Turns out one of those girls is the younger sister of the top fighter at their school. Bro says he should call the school before heading out, dials the number, fakes a cough, and tells them he's got a bad cold. Says he'll be resting at home today. The spirit stares in disbelief. A hospital building under the daylight. Someone pulls up outside. A voice calls out to the red-haired guy from across the lot. Yellow Jacket asks if he stayed awake all night. The red-haired guy just says the word Sunbae. Asks how the pink-haired girl is doing. Hears she just fell asleep. Asks if he read the case report. The answer is quiet. Says he did. Explains that checking the security footage is impossible because it was all destroyed. But from the report alone, identifying the killer is easy. The records show the guy drains blood from victims but leaves their bodies intact. Except the ones in this district showed extreme damage. Says that's why they crossed him off the suspect list before. Can't believe it turned out to be him after all. Exhales hard. Brings up the villain who saved the two girls. Says it looked like the same guy from before. Both of them sit with that. The pink-haired girl apparently called the mystery villain her savior. Adds that if the guy's really a villain, he should have been out of his mind. But instead, he saved people, including his own sister. The red-haired guy stares out the window, asks what the hell the guy is playing at. Yellow Jacket says that's exactly what he's been wondering too. Points out the mystery villain did the same thing with the other defeated villain, asks who the hell this person is. A coffee cup sits between them on the table. Neither has an answer. The school building rises against a blue sky. Students walk the grounds in clusters. Our MC moves through the area outside campus. Dark figure, bag on one shoulder. The spirit says, Bro sure came a long way just to skip class. A convenience store sits on the corner. A drink gets pulled from the shelf. A girl inside asks our MC if he's a model. Bro says for the last time he's not, just a student on a semester break. She asks which college. Bro turns and asks why they even want to know. Says he'd like to buy this. The cashier rings it up. Says, of course. A guy with glasses and light brown hair watches from behind the counter. That smile doesn't reach the eyes. The summoner appears out of nowhere, holding bags, announces a special offer on couple phones. Says the first photo she takes with hers will be with the screwdriver villain, hearts everywhere. Hands Bro a phone and calls it a gift. Our hero blinks, says he already has one. All three of them stand there, Bro, the spirit, and the woman. Total silence. The word fills the frame, someone screams it at full volume. Our MC stares at the phone screen, asks what the hell this is. A convenience store sits on the corner. Items get scanned across the counter. The total comes to $3,000. Our MC pays without looking up. The purchases land on the counter, a drink, and something else. A book sits among them, a novel about a vampire bride. Bro picks it up and starts flipping through, asks the cashier if he can take some of the waste paper. The cashier says sure and offers to grab it. Bro thanks him and walks out. Steps onto the sidewalk, bag in hand. The spirit's eye catches something, locks on hard. Our MC bumps into someone on the way out and starts to apologize. Both of them stand outside the store, silence hanging between them. Bro's face stays flat, giving nothing away. The street stretches out, empty, ahead. The spirit drops Bro's old name, says there's something it needs to tell him, says the guy from the store is a villain. The spirit flinches, wasn't expecting our MC to already know. Bro explains he could tell from looking at the bastard's eyes. Adds that he's not sure if the guy is the blood villain though. The book sits in his hand, the vampire novel. The cover stares back at him, explains it's a classic story featuring a vampire, remembers the blood villain's words from before, promising a sweet death, saying Bro would die inside him, realizes he'd heard those words somewhere. It's a line straight from this novel. The spirit says it's surprised Bro remembers things like that. Our hero shrugs, says he used to read a bit back at the orphanage, grabs the cola can, and says they should go check if the card they just picked turns out to be the Joker or not. The convenience store shrinks behind them. Buildings line the road ahead. The two of them move through the district. A building rises against the sky. The spirit asks if this is the route to the girls' high school, wants to know where Bro is headed. Our MC walks without answering. The spirit's eye catches movement. Someone crashes right in front of them. The impact comes out of nowhere. The collision sends a body stumbling. The hit echoes through the street. Our MC reacts, asks if the person is okay. The guy on the ground winces and lets out a groan. A school building sits in the background. The spirit watches, quiet. Bro and the floating eye stand over the scene. The spirit points out it didn't expect Bro to transform out here. Says there aren't any rooftops nearby to use. Our MC pulls out a magic crystal, says he should eat this one before anything starts. Energy floods through his body the second it goes down. The spirit tells Bro to run a scan, needs to check something with its ability. The stat screen pops up and the numbers fill in. 2 new spells have appeared, Shadow and Shadow Movement. The spirit explains that the power increase evolves skills Bro already had. Our MC can't believe spells unlocked just from raising points. The spirit says back when it was alive, getting stronger required actual training. Nothing came free. Bro reads the number 470, asks how 3 crystals at 40 each gave him 120 points total. The spirit explains that his body is building tolerance to the crystals, says the absorption rate will drop over time, and eventually the gains will barely register. Our MC figures that makes sense. If eating crystals was all it took, they wouldn't be so hard to come by. Says he can't rely on them forever. Decides he needs to think about alternatives, training, or something else entirely. Tells the spirit to pull up the blood villain's stats too. The spirit warns it's already used the ability twice today. A 3rd time will push it. Bro says he knows. The screen loads. Main skills include a blood spear, some kind of luster attack, hypnosis, and terror. Spell points sitting at 1990. Bro spots an unfamiliar entry, asks about one of the movement skills. The spirit recognizes it from their last fight, realizes the blood villain also has mental abilities, hypnosis and terror stacked on top of everything else. Bro lets that word sit. Hypnosis. Says this fight is not going to be easy. A tall building catches the last of the sunset. A hospital corridor stretches into the dark. A room sits at the end, dim light inside. A bed fills the frame, someone lying in it. Dark energy seeps through the walls. The blood villain stands in the shadows, calls out to his loyal servants. Dark figures gather behind him without a sound, orders them to bring those children to him. The hospital rises against the sunset. A corridor stretches into the dim. The pink-haired girl walks into the room and stops. The bed is empty, stares at the spot where the mystery villain sat and mutters about that guy. Asks herself who he could possibly be. A nurse calls her name and says they need to run some tests. The pink-haired girl asks why they do that at this hour. The nurse says it would be best if a guardian came along too. The pink-haired girl points at herself, asks if that means her. The conversation hangs in the air. The city skyline glows under the fading light. Buildings crowd the frame from every angle. Our MC stands on a rooftop, shadow energy ripping off both arms. The shadows stretch and bend around him, forming shapes. Bro pushes harder. The dark energy responds, figures out how to combine the hidden shadow and shadow movement skills together, links them mid-air, and fires both at once. The spirit watches from below without blinking. Energy tears across the rooftop. The blast expands outward. The spirit speaks up, says it noticed Bro's magic growth is completely unnatural on the way here. Tells our MC to focus on building his power through his own methods instead. The hologram pops up. The GPS signal is live. Looks like they found the spot. Bro searched the area but couldn't narrow down the exact location until now. The tracker landed right on the blood villain's hideout. Our MC exhales, says, thank God he planted the thing. The target building sits in the distance. Energy surges through Bro's body. The power builds. Our MC launches off the rooftop, tells the spirit to hurry, tears through the sky with energy trailing behind. Somewhere else, a voice says, excuse me? The pink-haired girl asks why they're running tests in the middle of the night. The answer comes back that it's a critical test that can only be done now. Asks what that means. Gets told it's a sufficiency test. The pink-haired girl follows them deeper into the building. Dark energy seeps through the walls ahead. Red fills the edges of the frame. The pink-haired girl freezes, eyes blowing wide, screams that it's a villain, and tells everyone to run. Too late. The trap is already shut. The blood villain's puppets block every exit, dead-eyed figures standing motionless. The villain explains that they respond only to his voice. Adds that he could turn her into an obedient puppet, just like them. Dark energy swirls around the room. Says that wouldn't work for what he has in mind, though. Tells the pink-haired girl she possesses something wonderful. Calls her strength overflowing. Says she's fit to be his bride. The word drops and the temperature in the room dies. The pink-haired girl screams at him to get lost. Calls him a complete lunatic. A voice cuts through the dark. Asks who's there. Our MC drops in from above and tells everyone to hit the floor. Says he'll finish this in 3. The blood villain's face twists. Can't believe this bastard showed up again. The countdown starts at 3. Bro charges in, energy flooding every inch of the frame. The first hit connects clean. A second strike follows right behind. Energy collides at full force. pink and blue crashing together. The blood villain curses, says bro is ruining everything again. Our MC fires back that this is just the beginning. Another blast rips through the room. A single red eye locks on through the chaos. Energy crackles between both fighters. The exchange keeps building, neither side backing off. A hit lands hard. The blood villain screams and transforms. The full power comes out. Blood cutter. A crimson blade tears through the air at our hero. The slash collides with bro's energy head-on. Our MC pushes back through the impact. The villain screams for bro to die, throws everything he has. Our hero dodges low and closes the gap. Energy wraps around both fists. The hit catches the villain mid-swing. Hypnosis. The blood villain's eyes flare, and the mental attack fires point blank. The effect hits our MC's vision. Everything warps. The villain grins, says he caught bro. Our hero's voice breaks through, asks how the villain dares. The hypnosis shatters. A fist crashes through the blood villain's guard, and the impact paints the entire frame red. Energy tears through the building, both fighters still going full force. The blood villain slides back across the floor. Our MC closes in without letting up, every step calculated. Another hit lands clean, and the villain stumbles. The villain spits blood and says that up until now he let bro hit him as much as he wanted. Now it's his turn. Tells our MC to get beat as much as he pleases. The blood villain laughs through the pain. Bro asks what's so funny. The villain's grin drops. Says, of course nothing about this is funny. Tells our MC he will never win. Says he's that kind of being. The pink-haired girl watches from behind. The villain calls bro insane and fires back with everything. Blood energy rips through the room. Red light floods the frame. The two of them clash again. The impact shakes the walls. Our MC reads the pattern, realizes physical attacks aren't getting through the way they should. Needs a different angle. The spirit curses, wishes it could use its old ignition ability. Bro looks around. The blood villain is gone. Asks where the hell he went. A group of people stand in the parking lot looking confused. Ask why they're outside. One of them checks if everyone's okay. The spirit says the hypnosis must have faded. Our MC shouts at the doctors and nurses to get back to the hospital where the patients need them. Someone mutters in shock, says something about a villain. The pink-haired girl calls out and tells bro to wait. Our hero takes off running without looking back. Tells himself the blood villain couldn't have gone far. Says they need to catch him now. Energy builds around bro as he tears through the streets. The chase rips across rooftops and alleyways. Our MC closes the distance through the dark. A voice shouts from behind, calls him a villain. Bro turns, and the red-haired hero is right there. Recognition hits both of them at the same time. The impact comes before any words do. Flying sword, the hero's blade swings in with full force. Our MC dodges and screams, asks if this is really an ambush. Tells the hero to move and stop blocking his way. Energy explodes between them. The blast expands outward. Yellow Jacket shouts at the red-haired hero from behind, asks why he's just standing there doing nothing. The hero freezes, his sister's words hitting him mid-fight. She called the villain her savior. Our MC stands across from him, jaw tight. Someone calls the red-haired hero by name. Says villain means extermination. The hero screams the word and fires up. Energy surges through his body. The attack launches. Flare. The hero's fire tears through the air at full power. The blast collides with bro. Shadow knives. Our MC fires back with a full barrage. Curses under his breath and says this is getting annoying. The spirit watches from the side, eye wide. Energy rips in every direction between them. Somewhere else, the blood villain coughs up blood. The hit from earlier still tearing through him. The spirit shouts for bro to finish it with one big strike. Energy floods bro's fists. The pink-haired girl watches, whispers that the villain is a player in this fight. Says he saved her. The red-haired hero charges again. Both fighters collide. The impact lights up the block. Energy keeps building. Another exchange. Yellow Jacket shouts at the red-haired hero and asks where his head is tonight. The hero apologizes, says he's sorry. Yellow Jacket tells him he's not himself today. Silence settles over the wreckage. The city sits under a dark sky. Someone asks what the hell just happened. Says the villain melted into a shadow. The spirit explains it was a summon decoy. Says it's the first time something like that's been pulled on them. Asks how they're supposed to report this. Yellow Jacket tells the hero to stop staring off into the distance. Tells him to go take care of his sister instead. The hero stands there and says nothing. Finally answers, says, yeah, stands alone in the wreckage, adds that it's annoying they lost both of them. Somewhere across the city, the blood villain leans against a wall in the fading light, curses under his breath, and says his throat is completely parched. The blood villain stumbles through the streets, curses, and says that guy messed things up again, mutters that his throat is parched. Energy crackles off his frame as he drags himself through the city, scans the block for options, spots a club glowing in neon, says that looks like a good place, walks inside to quench his thirst. The dance floor pulses with light. A woman inside notices the blood splattered across his clothes, asks if he's hurt anywhere, calls him handsome. The villain says no, just thirsty. She offers to buy him a drink. He says he's in the mood for something tastier. The smile never reaches the eyes. Energy rips through the frame. A news broadcast blares. An incident in the district. A villain drenched in blood is terrorizing civilians and spreading panic. Our MC loses it, screams at the screen, curses himself for letting the bastard escape, and says he completely blew it. The summoner asks what happened. Bro says the blood villain is out there terrorizing people right now, asks how many times this makes. Somewhere at the hospital. A voice calls the pink-haired girl's name. She turns, her brother runs in and asks if she's okay. She shouts for him. He asks if she's hurt. She says that person saved her. The red-haired hero freezes, can't process the words. The pink-haired girl tells him it was the same person who saved her last time. Her eyes stay locked on her brother's face. Energy effects cut through the night. Our MC lands on a rooftop across the city, moves through the dark alone, coughs and winces. The spirit says, thankfully, it's not a fatal wound. Adds that bro held out for a while back there, asks what comes next, then says something unexpected, says bro fought differently this time, asks if our MC went easy on the hero because the guy wasn't a villain. Wants to know if that changes how bro fights. Our hero's face hardens, says it won't happen again. Explains that the enemies he has to deal with aren't just villains anymore, tells the spirit to activate full armor mode. Energy floods through his body. The spirit asks what now. Power surges outward from every limb. Our MC tears through the city at full speed. Buildings blur past him. Bro arrives at the scene with the spirit trailing behind. The street ahead glows red. Inside the club, the blood villain sits back and exhales. Says he finally feels a bit recharged. Adds that he's stable now. A woman screams at him, calls him a lunatic, says he's absolutely insane. The villain tells her to be quiet. Says he doesn't want his precious healing time disturbed, sits there reading a book with bodies around him. Someone groans from the floor. The heroes arrive outside, say they'll rescue the survivors first and then go after him. Energy builds between both sides. The fight starts the second they step inside. The first attack rips through the club entrance. The red-haired hero charges in with his blade. Blood spear. The villain fires back, crimson energy tearing through the air. The impact catches both heroes off guard. Yellow Jacket and the red-haired fighter reel back. Energy collides midair. Yellow Jacket recovers and pushes forward, exchanges blow after blow with the villain. Another hit shakes the building. The fight spills across the floor. Yellow Jacket screams at the red-haired hero to stop, asks if he wants the hostages caught in the crossfire. The hero flinches. The blood villain catches the hesitation, says bro thinks he can afford to worry about other people. Blood energy surges, screams at the hero to worry about himself instead. The hit catches him clean, a massive impact that sends the hero flying. Dust and shattered debris fill the entire frame. Yellow Jacket screams, says he'll end this with a grand finale and charges everything he has. A massive energy sphere builds between his hands. The whole block trembles. Blood smash. The villain fires first. The attack tears through everything in its path. Someone screams Yellow Jacket's real name. Energy clashes between the blood villain and the red-haired hero, the buildings shaking around them. The villain laughs through the impact. The hero fires a blast straight at the villain's center. The explosion tears through the club. The villain dodges clean and says the skill is impressive but pointless if it can't actually land. Appears behind the hero, asks when he moved. The villain's laugh echoes through the wreckage. Blood energy rips forward. The crimson wave expands. The hero reacts too late, shock across his face, curses under his breath. The blood attack connects and sends him stumbling. Someone screams at him to get away. The impact tears through the room. Dust settles over the aftermath. The red-haired hero screams, says if the villain so much as touches his sister, he will kill him. The blood villain laughs and says the hero walked right to him, brags that taking down a former hero's descendant will be a special treat for his stomach. Tells the hero he's brimming with confidence, says that confidence, he'll give the hero a chance to prove it. A building sits in an empty lot, no civilians around. The hero says if this is the place, he's relieved. The blood villain grins and says the hero must be happy that he can finally use full power. The hero stares back, says with no people nearby, he can drop the biggest blast he has from the night sky without holding back. Fire energy builds across his entire body, says he'll make the villain regret ever bringing him here. A massive fire explosion tears outward from the hero's position, lighting up the entire block. Energy crashes between them. Both fighters trade hits at full power. The impact shakes the ground beneath them. The exchange keeps building, fire against blood. The villain asks if this is the full potential of the hero's power. Points out the hero isn't even using everything he has. Energy floods between both of them. The villain grins and says he also didn't use his full strength, then proves it. The blast rips outward and swallows the block. Our MC stands at the edge of the destruction, says the word under his breath. Morbid. The scene is destroyed, wreckage everywhere. Bro walks through the rubble. The spirit says there are traces of powerful magic all over the area. Our MC stops, asks if it was that bastard, recognizes the energy signature and clenches his jaw, finds a body on the ground, asks if he's dead. The spirit says he's still alive. Bro wonders where the red-haired hero went. He must have come here too. The spirit scans the area, calls Bro over, says to come look at something. Our MC asks what it is. A weapon sits in the rubble. The spirit says it's a magic weapon. Bro picks it up, says he can feel the energy the second it touches his hand. The spirit calls it a good opportunity, tells Bro to extract the magic crystal from the weapon using the hidden skill. Our MC hesitates, says normally he wouldn't steal someone else's gear, then shrugs, says since it's already broken and abandoned, it's probably fine. The extraction begins. Energy floods out of the weapon and into Bro's body. The power keeps pulling. Energy cracks through the air around him. The absorption hits hard, light exploding off Bro's frame. One eye flares purple. The power shift is visible. The spirit flinches. Wasn't expecting this reaction. Dark energy wraps around our MC's entire body in crackling waves. The spirit says it doesn't even need to use its scanning ability this time. Bro goes quiet, stands in the center of the wreckage, shadow energy coiling around every limb, and says this feeling is familiar. The moon hangs over a dark building, the final stage. The blood villain waits with the red-haired hero at his feet, asks when that bastard is coming, says he'll show up soon enough, mutters that he's already sick of the appetizer. The hero screams and fires a blast of flame with everything he has left. The fire rips across the room. Energy tears in every direction. Blood energy swallows the flames whole. The two forces collide. The villain stands untouched, says this amount of fire won't affect him. Blood energy fires back. The hit catches the hero clean, calls the hero pathetic. So pathetic, it loops back around to being sad. Presses the attack without letting up. The hero slams into the wall. The villain tells him to blame his own weakness, says he'll harvest whatever's left. The laugh fills the room. A voice cuts through the noise, says this is sickening. Our MC drops in from above. Energy crackles through the air. Tells the villain to stop it with the bullshit. Calls him a mosquito. Bro charges in, full power from the first step. The blood villain snarls, calls our MC a stupid leech bastard. Says he loves interrupting everything. Our hero doesn't respond with words. Responds with a fist. The villain laughs and says his body is far beyond where it was before. Says he's absorbed dozens of humans. Their blood awakens something inside him. Calls the power overflowing and invincible. Brags that an A rank couldn't even touch him now. Our MC listens to the whole speech, then says 4 words. Is that so? The blood villain's expression cracks. Something is wrong. Realizes what Bro just did. Screams at our hero to observe and witness his invincible power. The red-haired hero watches from the floor, realizes in horror that our MC wasn't using full strength during their fight. Energy floods between both fighters. Our MC swings first. Blood shear. The villain fires his attack. The two blasts collide and tear the building apart. Blue energy rips through the crimson wave. The exchange continues at full speed. The villain screams that he got him. Blood energy wraps around the spot. The villain flinches. Bro isn't there. A voice whispers from behind, says, "Behind you, stupid." The hit connects with a scream that shakes the walls. The impact sends the villain crashing through debris. Our MC stands in the center of the wreckage. Doesn't stop. Charges in again. Another hit follows. The villain reels backward. Our MC asks why the villain isn't showing that invincible power he was bragging about. Asks when exactly he's planning to use it. A blast tears through the building from floor to ceiling. The villain goes pale. Can't believe what's happening. Says this is nothing like the fight at the hospital. Bro is completely different. Asks what happened since then. Says this can't be the same person. Coughs blood. Our MC tells the villain he said his damn power couldn't be beaten. Asks if this is really all he's got. The villain tries to retreat, admits he doesn't know what changed, but acknowledges Bro is stronger. Says he'll come back. Silence hangs in the dark. The blood villain's full monstrous form fills the frame. red eyes burning, blood tendrils coiling off every limb, grinning through the damage. Says physical attacks can't destroy him when his body transforms into blood. Laughs and says there'll be a next time. Our MC screams that there is no next time, calls the villain a mosquito one final time. Shadow capture locks the villain in place, and the villain can't move. Tells the blood villain the likes of him can't even be recycled. The villain's eyes blow wide. Blue flames erupt from every direction. Bro says he'll burn the villain up with everything he has. The blood villain's single eye goes wide in pure terror. Flames of darkness. Blue fire swallows the entire frame, and there is nothing left. The full stat card drops. Awakened villain class, confirmed. Darkness attribute, spell points at 520. Shadow knives, self-healing, shadow movement, shadow capture, flames of darkness, every skill on the sheet. The evolution is complete. And that's where we're going to leave it. Bro just unlocked a whole new level of power, and this story is only getting started. If you want to see what happens next, the second part is coming. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Drop a like if you've been riding with us this whole time, and we'll see you in part 2.